Welcome back. I want to talk about Flash. I don't have a whiteboard. I thought about it. I thought I could do the whiteboard. I could have a full-on discussion of the Flash. And the most recent 5-episode cycle the show has taken me on, which I don't know. I just it's the final season. The Flash is in its final year. It's finally almost over. Grant Gustin saying he's ready to not be the Flash anymore. Yep. And I think, I mean, the way that it feels like the writers are kind of done too. And the reason is this. So you bring in the Red Death, which is a big villain in comic books. You tie it into Batwoman, spoiler alerts and all that. But I don't feel like it moved the needle. I don't feel like there's a lot that, like, there's lapses in logic at this point that start to, and this happens with anything comic book related, superhero related. I know with Marvel I've had this problem with some of the movies where something will happen and I'll think, so this doesn't qualify as being Avengers level? This is something catastrophic, but they don't need the Avengers because sure, why not? And there were moments in The Flash, especially in the last episode, where I kept saying, where's Kara? Supergirl. She's still there. She's still in the same world. Why isn't she helping Barry? She could fix this problem very, very quickly. And I understand that's part of it. Also, Melissa Benoist probably not available, or just they don't want to bring her in, whatever it is. It's just, it's one of those things that I have a hard time with when it comes to the superheroes. It's sort of like, my favorite was when I was a kid and I'd watch Justice League, Super Friends, right? And something would be going on and they would send the Wonder Twins. And the joke at the time, which has now become a meme, because I think all of us went through this, was that you'd put out a help us Justice League, and they'd send the twins and the monkey, and you'd be like, really, you're gonna do us like that? Really, Justice League? You're gonna do that to us, huh? We got the twins and the monkey. Great. Now we're dead. And so, like, you couldn't send Superman. This would have been fixed in 3 seconds with Superman. Superman's like, I'm not worried about that. That's some stupid little problem. I don't know. Send the twins and the monkey. I don't care. And so that's always been sort of a storyline, but it feels like with Flash, I don't know. And then they bring Grodd in, which he's sort of tacked on. And by bringing Grodd in, I don't watch Grodd episodes. I think I've talked about this in videos before. As like when I'm watching and I'm rewatching series, like if I say, all right, I want to rewatch something in the Flash, and I'm like, I remember this episode, and I started up and it's like, oh, it's Grodd. That's why I don't remember. I've never watched an entire episode with Grodd because I can't, except the one they were referencing in this one where Grodd kind of becomes a hero and Barry, turns him good and all this. Grodd's a really super intelligent gorilla. It's dumb. It's not rendered very well either. The show doesn't have the budget to realistically pull off Grodd, which doesn't help. And that's part of the problem too with Flash and with a lot of TV comic book shows. The special effects are so, they pull you right out of it, where you're like, okay, I can buy, oh, wow, that looks like a really bad video game. I can't. And there's a battle between Red Death and Flash in this episode that I was completely uninterested in because they're chasing each other and it doesn't make any sense. The paths they were taking each other through Central City, also known as Vancouver, didn't make any sense. Where I was like, well, why would she be running over here and he's running? What if one of them just stops? Like what then? Or what if one just decides I'm going to turn and go the other way? But no, they run in a linear way, even though there's blocks separating them, so they can't see each other through buildings. I could not figure out why they kept running in a straight line, and they always have to do the run up the building, run down the building. You have to do that every chase. There's always got to run up this building, and it's like, oh. And I swear they reused the same graphics, which again, for budgetary reasons, I understand, but it pulls you out of the episode. The biggest problem I have with this 5-episode saga, it feels exactly the same as every other saga. So you bring in the big bad, you bring in these people to help the big bad. Usually that's what'll happen. You'll have people helping the big bad. Whether it's the big bad has to murder them, or maybe the big bad stealing their powers, or it makes in this case, all kinds of promises that they're not going to keep. And that's the thing too. Bad guys are unimaginably stupid on this show that in this case it was Mark being told, or Chilblain, which is just the name is so cringy, but he's told she'll bring back Killer Frost. He never asked her how. He like just they're so dumb. It's like, all right, if you come and join me, I'll give you 50 billion gallons of ice cream. That sounds like a great offer. How are you going to do that? Like, it's just, I don't understand. There's no... The show never tries to explain it. My other favorite thing was, I noticed in this, and maybe this has always been the case in the series, but they'll do some kind of science speak, some kind of geek speak that goes on over here, and you hear it and you think, is that a thing? And so I've noticed that in the last couple of seasons, and I don't think this is the only show either, that somebody will kind of question the science, like, pardon me, what was that? And the answer is always, I don't have time to explain, or it's complicated. No, I'm pretty sure those are words that you squished them all together to make it sound sciencey, but it doesn't make any sense. So there were moments of that. So if I had to compare this with the other times they've done these multi-episode arcs with villains, it all feels the same. It feels like it's written the exact same way, and of course Flash loses his speed because he has to lose his speed. He lost his speed twice in 5 episodes. And what gets me is when, well, she used up all of his speed, it'll take, I don't know, a day for him to get his speed back. And I said out loud, why? We established early in the series that he has really, really fast healing, and now sometimes he has the super fast healing, and sometimes for storyline purposes he doesn't. And then he got it back from Grodd because it was in Grodd's brain or something, or I don't know. Grodd was convinced by her that she could find his super intelligent apes because he needs a bunch of super intelligent apes because he doesn't want to be the only one. And so he just started doing her evil bidding because she said so. And then Barry meets with Grodd and is like, hey, notice you're doing some evil. And Grodd's answer is, yeah, because you abandoned me here 3 years ago. Barry's answer should have been, no, I didn't. We came to this agreement. You wanted to find some more of your own kind, and we brought you here. And then they could have had a conversation, but no. And then Barry answers with, I made you a hero. And Grodd's like, nope. And Barry's like, yep. And Grodd goes, yeah, all right, whatever. And he becomes a hero again. That is, in a nutshell, what happens. And we never see Grodd again because he's so badly rendered. He doesn't look like a gorilla. I think you'd be... I think you'd be better off to take Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlyn, and just put like a mask on her, and just like the hands, but leave all the clothes, all the rest of the clothes the same, and you can just look at the camera and go, yeah, so I'm Grodd now. And just have the scene that way, because it's just as believable as Barry showing up in this forest, which is lit the same way as the forest in Supernatural when they're in limbo. So I guess Grodd's in limbo. That's why I can't find super intelligent gorillas. You got to watch though, because there's probably angels and demons in that forest. Which when I saw that and I saw the lighting, I thought, if Sam and Dean showed up here, it would make this show significantly better. It would make this show a lot better if Sam and Dean just showed up out of nowhere and just off Grodd, because clearly demonic gorilla, and then takes care of the Red Death, and then they just drive off with their beautiful car while Back in Black by AC/DC's playing in the background. I think that'd be better. So of course you get the real Batwoman to come in at the very end, and she had this weird scene with Iris. I understand they're trying to make it that they're friends and they shoehorn this in there, but why? I think my favorite part of this 5-episode arc is that Barry and Iris get kind of touchy-feely and kind of romantic with each other, and people who are in the scene with them are looking at each other like, and I said out loud, yeah, they're acting like married people. That's so weird. Barry and Iris are absolutely the most unromantic couple. In fact, they showed them in the first episode in bed together, and I was like, they have a bed. And it's not twin beds that are pushed together. It's like they're married. Because for ages now, it's been, okay, so they're supposed to have kids. I think you have to sleep in the same bed to have kids, and I think you have to have some kind of physical contact. Now, not necessarily. They do work at Star Labs. You could absolutely use a petri dish. Would I be surprised if Barry and Iris used a petri dish to conceive? Abso-freaking-lutely not, because there's no chemistry between them whatsoever. There hasn't been chemistry between Iris and Barry the entire series. Has that ever stopped the series from keeping them together? No. Has the series ever tried to make them look like an actual happy, romantically married couple? Not really. No. He cares about Iris when she disappears, and then when she's back, he's kind of like, I don't know. I think she's in Star Labs. I don't know. I'm gonna go out and get some criminals, I guess. I don't know. When did you see Iris? I don't know. A week ago. Isn't she still at Star Labs? Oh crap! I lost Iris again. So, it just, and when she got replaced by the mirror universe version of her, I'm sorry, they really did not address how disturbing that could have been, because that's another her sleeping in her bed. Things can happen. Never addressed. Not even for a moment. Nothing. Meaning that he had no romantic relations with his wife the entire time. That it was a doppelganger of her. And he never asked any questions either, which shows just how romantic and lively that marriage really and truly is. So that's my problem with the show. Plus, they've done the Chuck and Allegra thing, and I don't buy Chuck and Allegra as a couple at all. Especially when she said, at the end of this episode, that was the best kiss I've ever had about her kiss with Chuck, which felt really forced and kind of pushed on there. And I said out loud, you haven't kissed very many people, have you? So I just, it's because there was no romance. That just I don't buy it. And this is the problem, is that because it's a CW show, everybody has to have a romantic pairing. It's like at the end of this one, Keon, who is the sublimation, the combination of Frost and Caitlyn. I'd explain it, but I don't have time. They would explain it, but they really haven't. Should I back up? Yeah, I'm going to back up. So Caitlyn decides she's going to bring Frost back and accidentally creates a brand new version, which is Keon, and Keon doesn't have powers. They said that so many times over the first 4 episodes, and I was like, are you flipping kidding me? Of course she's going to have powers. Of course she has powers. Apparently, it's very close to Cecile's empathy, or like being an empath. It's very similar, but it's a little bit different, and now she's got purple strings in her hair. I get the feeling that Danielle Panabaker was just like, I'm tired of doing the whole Frost getup. I don't want to do that anymore. Can I just have like purple streaks in my hair and just leave it at that? And they're like, yeah, fine, whatever. Tired of being 2 people. Fine, we'll combine them. But she's created as Keon, and of course Mark loses his mind because apparently Frost's the love of his life. They dated for like a week, so clearly she's the love of his life. And they're in love, they were going to get married and all this stuff, and I'm like, they barely knew each other. But at any rate, the show is kind of ridiculous that way. And so he wants to bring him back. So now, to bring back Frost, you're basically killing this new person, Keon, who is basically just Caitlyn if she had taken some herbs that really made her chill out. That's basically the only way I can describe the character. It's just really chill version of Caitlyn, who really likes flowers and likes to touch the windows during the rain because she can feel the rainstorm. Yeah, she's chill. Might not be able to pass a drug test, but she's chill. Maybe it's just Caitlyn and she's just really, really chill, which just makes sense because chillblain. But the whole episode, they're debating about, okay, so what do we want to bring Caitlyn back or do we want to bring Frost back? And I kept saying out loud, so you're just going to murder this new person to bring back one of the other people? There's a moral dilemma here you're not even looking at. And then, towards the end of the episode, they're like, well, this new girl, who's a creation of these two melded together, she has an opinion, doesn't she? And I'm like, yeah, she's a sentient human being. She has an opinion. And just because somebody wants to bring back Caitlyn and somebody wants to bring back Frost, and you can't bring back both because the science is really dodgy on that, but you can't. Not to mention, I don't know how you reverse engineer another person, but they don't explain it. They didn't have time. And then Keon decides, I want to live. As people do. They want to live. And then Mark's all like, fine, I'm out of here. You won't help me bring Frost back. They can't. Not without murdering this new person. So you're in charge. You want to murder this new person for your 1-week girlfriend. I don't know, go hang out somewhere. Show off your abs. I don't get it. And then again, Mark gets seduced by the Red Death because she's like, I'll bring back your girlfriend, and he never asked her how. And apparently it's just she's from an alternate universe, so she's probably just going to get an alternate universe version of Frost, which does not mean they're going to fall in love. That's not how love works. But I just don't... I don't understand. I really thought this was not going to end up being a rant. I really did. I don't understand the whole way this is all put together. I'm glad this storyline's done. But I saw an article and the headline was, spoilers on who the final enemy is going to be for Barry. And I said out loud, it's going to be Eobard Thawne. It's going to be the Reverse Flash. It's been the Reverse Flash every single season. And every single time that they kill him or put him in Iron Heights and he's put away for good, he's not. He never is. He never will be. So when I clicked on it, it's Eobard Thawne via his kid or whatever. I was like, yep. Yep. That's how that's going to end. So my pain will end. My pain from the Flash will end. It'll be done. At the end of this episode, it was revealed Iris was pregnant because Keone knew that she was pregnant. And there's empath Cecile, who can't read Keone's mind, who then said Keone doesn't have superpowers. And I'm like, if you can't read her mind and you can read everybody else's mind, she has something that's different from everybody else. And how did you know? Because she has some kind of a superpower. You people not listening. Like, every time that somebody says, well, Keone, it's okay you don't have superpowers. I'm like, clearly they're setting it up she's going to have superpowers. And then Iris was like, well, I don't have superpowers either. You don't? Because you've had them. It's almost over. It's almost done. I'm going to be glad when it's done. There's no other show I rage watch. There isn't. And I don't know that there ever has been. But again, it's the fact that I'm this far into the show. It's gone on for this long. I have to see how it ends. I'm hoping that it's not more of the cycle, rinse, repeat of the same villains, the same and it's all the same setup. And when the Red Death in this final episode of the five episode arc said, it's all your fault, Barry Allen, I'm like, yeah, this is what I've been saying for years. How did she get this power? Because of him. Of course she did. Whose fault is it? It's the Flash's fault. If the Flash lived in another city, Central City would be it'd be a utopia. But Barry Allen means it's all violence all the time and everybody dies. And the biggest sign that you're going to die on the Flash is for Barry Allen to come over and go, I'll protect you. You're dead. It's over. You're done. Just go walk in front of a bus. It's faster. He's the hero. I don't know what's going to happen with no superhero shows either. I mean, there's still obviously superhero shows, but not the CW variety. The Boys, though, right? The Boys is a fantastic show that shows how you can make it all work. And to my knowledge, they haven't done stuff where they're like, well, we could explain, but we don't have time. Really haven't seen that with them. Anyways, there you go. If you watch this 5-episode arc of The Flash, tell me how this is exactly the same as every other villain on this. They're all the same. They all have speed. They all wear a mask. They all have the voice changer. We're supposed to be all surprised at who the reveal is. And it doesn't matter. And it just doesn't matter. And now we're to the point where they bring people back, and I'm like, I forgot he existed. It's alright, Barry probably did too. He probably, before he goes to bed, has to remind himself of people that he might run into the next day. Don't forget their names, they're heroes, they're going to be mad. They're villains, they're going to be mad if you forgot who they are. But wouldn't that be a great episode of The Flash? A villain comes in, he goes, I should know who you are. Don't you make tornadoes? Nope, that's not you. Did you picked up a car and flung it at, well, that's all of them. Did you make the cars explode? Nope, every car in Central City's rigged to explode. That's not gonna, every city in a Hollywood show and movie, they're all rigged to explode. Every vehicle just boom, and it's like, that's not really how it works. But at any rate, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And thank you for attending my counseling session of all things Flash related. It's almost over. I think there's 8 more episodes. I think it's a 13-episode cycle this time out, which is good. That means there's 8 more episodes to probably frustrate me. I don't know that Batwoman's going to be in it any further. It was written like she's just sort of tacked on at the end, like, yeah, look, here she is. And all I could think was, why wasn't she here sooner? She should have been here a lot sooner. This is kind of weird. And the police captain thing, I don't think they ever... She got out. How did she get out? How... I'm just thinking back to the episode, I'm like, wait a minute. There's loose ends there that they just sort of never came back to. They were just gone. Alright, maybe I'm just gone too. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just too old for all this. I would explain, but I don't have time. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. Watching my videos of this nature. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And hey, I'll talk to you guys again soon.